it's a very, very serious affair because we're looking at the news from yesterday, and it would appear that going by the National Security Advisor's statements, that there are, commercial explosive companies that are not, above diverting their products. As the NSA said it, they have conducted their investigations and they are deeply involved. The Minister of Solid Minerals has consequently withdrawn the license of one of the companies, and I think it is NDCC, Nigerian Development and Construction Company, which is an importer and seller of explosives in a region called Koko, I believe. I hope I got that pronunciation right, Koko, in Delta State. It's a very, very serious affair, I thought, and my guest this morning to help us look at this whole matter and look at the implications of other similar kind of companies that ordinarily deal with licensed products that are hazardous, dangerous, and then allowing these products to be used in a different manner. Mr. Jide Johnson, Deputy Provost, NIJ, is here with us. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Johnson.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
Indeed. And Mr. Chuks Nwoko, Publisher, MDG Magazine and Public Affairs Analyst.
Thank you for having us.
Indeed, our pleasure. Yeah, as I said, it's a commercial explosives company. So there always is reason to bring in, explosives, quarrying, mining, all sorts of reasons. Commercial explosives, these are not military-grade explosives, but they can still do a heck of a lot of damage. And the authorities have now determined that some of the destruction that we saw on some of our pipelines are directly attributable to there. First of all, did that surprise you? Because for some reason we hadn't thought it along those lines, or was that just me?
No, I was not any bit surprised. What has bothered me over the long period of time is the inability of the government to do a thorough investigation, do the surveillance, do the intelligence gathering, do the investigation, and find the source of the power that these militants they have, because obviously they are not spirits. So I'm delighted that they've been able to come up with this, and I hope that it's been thoroughly investigated, like it's been reported that this is predicated on a well-investigated exercise. If it is, I feel that it's coming, for me, it came a little bit late, but never late. So we need to take it to the next level. There are ways of dealing with issues like this with corporations. A corporation is, you don't take a corporation and put a corporation behind bar. Individuals can be. Maybe you can find the proprietors or the senior officers in such organizations and punish them. But I'm also delighted to hear that the license of that company has been withdrawn. Because it's a corporation, you can either withdraw their license of operation, they register them, or fine them heavily in such a way that they are permanently punished. And I think that they're in the right direction.
Jide, I was astounded by the sheer volume. 9,000 kilograms, that's like 9 tons, the weight of 9 small cars. That's 9 tons of explosives is what the investigation showed them that they've come to, and something almost 17,000 detonators. So it just shows that there was very, very high seriousness of purpose on the part of those guys to further whatever interest it is that they were furthering. Certainly it wasn't Nigeria's interest.
Apart from getting the seizing or withdrawing the license of the company involved for culpability, what about officials that are responsible from regulatory point of view? In other climes, some people will have resigned by now. Who are those monitoring? Who are those giving these licenses to these people? That is just one. Are there many outside of Delta?
Now, in terms
there are these ammunition manufacturing companies.
My colleague captured, in terms of surveillance, in terms of intelligence gathering, in terms of preempting terrorist attack, like we have witnessed across the Niger Delta and the Northeast. How do governors, presidents, agencies of government justify the amount of money we vote for security in this country. How?
And for that kind of
And
incident to have slipped between the
slip
cracks.
to slip through without no flag being flagged along the line. It's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me.
Well, do you think it's that in a society first of all, as you know, this whole question came about, this whole issue came to the fore when the NSA was speaking with, I understand, fertilizer manufacturers, and some of the inputs into the manufacture of fertilizers can also be put to negative use. And there are quite a number of things that are like that. Even in the case of drugs, making manufacturing amphetamines, regular chemicals can be diverted. Isn't this another aspect of security, as Jide is saying, that for some reason we might have gone and fallen asleep on our watch? We're watching out for the AK-47s, the hammer, and all that. But here is a veritable measure. How did we ever miss this is what Jide is surprised about. How did we miss this?
We missed it because we never at any point in time sit down, and address our issue. As a people, how do we behave? How are we? First and foremost, we are not nationalistic in our day-to-day activities. That's where it starts, and that's the difference between us and other nations. If you go to UAE, their nationalistic attitude of their leaders is the reason their currency is stable against the dollar. You saw our boys early this morning at the very early hours of the morning. Mm-hmm. Boys who were stranded in Atlanta barely made it into Brazil and played a game of their life and won. Now, what did they do? 11 young men representing us at that level. Now, when you bring it back to the issue on the table this morning, Nigerians should know, for those who don't know, that in every state of the federation, you do not just have governors and the deputy governors and commissioners of police. You have security personnel from other arms of the security organizations in Nigeria represented in the states. Sir, I'm sure you're aware of that. The same patriotic zeal that these boys displayed and other citizens of other countries display, have these governors and these individuals been able to display these nationalistic tendencies in the state where they reside? The answer is no. Why? We have a problem that we never address. We have an attitude and our issues towards money. So you post a naval officer, you post a military officer, you have a governor, you have this. They sit down. What are they? How to harness lands, how to drive out oil servicing companies and use young militants so the big men can buy into it and own it. Because you need to go back to the same state and check all the oil companies that used to be there before 1999 and check where they are now and who bought them over. Now, the simple truth is that we never look at the mirror and see ourselves. Every time we're looking at the mirror, as a people, we're seeing different things. Our attitude is wrong, because if these guys that are in charge in the different states were living up to their responsibilities and they're focused on the nation Nigeria first and not their pockets, not their personal estates, all these things cannot be going on without you noticing them. So what point am I making? We are not nationalistic. We don't love Nigeria first. It's about our pockets. It's about where we come from first. You talk to people, I hear people on TV, they say, my tribe, my ethnicity, we are not well represented, and all that and all that. And to make our matters worse, in the last 25 years, we were supposed to be driving our nation based on developmental journalism. That hasn't happened. So when you pick up newspapers every day, they're all saying the same thing. So how are we going to solve the problem?
Indeed, I hear what you're saying. But you see, Jide, returning to the point, when I'm sure you've read it, the company has been blacklisted, their license has been withdrawn, but they say 6 people, including a store officer, 5 security operatives have been arrested. I'm looking at store officer, security operatives. How about the managing director of the company? How about the entire board? I mean, I don't know. Maybe all of those things. It just struck me that a thing on this level of on this magnitude, what is the store officer's business with all of this? Somebody put him there as store officer now.
What happens to the DPO of the police station, the area commander, of the area command, the SSS head of the local government where we have this. What has happened to them? You see, we love begging the issue. In other climes, all those people will have been fired.
All of those people would
have been fired.
Or at least be answering very, very serious questions.
You know, serious questions. You know, you see, we said we have a national security advisor. Who is the state security advisor for Delta State? Does he have meeting regularly with all security agencies from the state? You see, we have a problem. And the problem is we don't have an integrated, I'm coming, we don't have an integrated system. Some people will sit in Abuja, some will sit in the state, some will sit in the local government. But if you watch in other clubs, there's an integration in terms of security agencies, in terms of cooperation between or among agencies. I can tell you that some of the agencies in Nigeria don't share intelligence.
Okay, because I was going to say that
they don't share intelligence.
Because I was going to
because
suggest
there should be a cooperation.
I was going to suggest that what you are saying probably does exist. I mean, there's no way it is a professional service. Whether they now fell down on the job is another matter, because the questions you ask are germane. What happened to all those intelligence and security personnel? They, you know, what you are suggesting is that maybe they fell down, they fell asleep on the job, they didn't engage. But me, I'm suggesting that they no doubt have to have the whole structure. Implementing it is another matter, perhaps, because I'd like to hope that a whole intelligence organization.
Until we make our intelligence officers to be responsible. You see, when we talk about Boko Haram in the Northeast, before it degenerated to the level of carnage, were there no intelligence? Were there no information? Why are we using taxpayers' money as security vote for the governor, for the local government chairman, for the different agencies? Has anybody been held liable or culpable for not doing his job, despite the fact that they have access to public fund? You see, until people resign from the security point of view, until we try people from the security point of view, I'm sure we are not ready to deal with the issue of security. I'm sure we are not. I'm sure.
The issue you raised about why is it the 6 people that are low-level
people, storekeeper, security guards.
Yeah, in this type of thing, there's something that is called too big to jail. It's not only in Nigeria that you are. No, it's not only. It's a phenomenon. When you had the cement issue, you had the Aaron issue and all that. You have also an issue here. It's not everybody that you can jail. There are people that are above jailing. For instance, you cannot take NDDC or whatever the name of that company is. You cannot take the corporation and put behind bars. NDCC. You cannot also take, likely, the MD and jail. What you can do is what has already happened. You register, you fine, or you proscribe that organization. But the point must be made. Why is it that you have not picked up a high-ranking personnel of the organization? Is it that he's too big to jail, even though the NDCC is too big to be jailed? Is the individuals too big to be jailed? Even if they are not jailed, you can call them to question and interview them, interrogate them.
I wouldn't like to go down that path of anyone being too big to jail. I fully appreciate your sentiment, but the president has said that,
we haven't seen anybody go to jail, sir. So the reason we haven't seen that is because these individuals are putting up that front that I'm too big to jail. I just mentioned the cement issue and all the other issues that we have had in this country that we have not made progress on. Meanwhile, in places like Germany and in the US, we have had people pay dearly for the infraction and discrepancies that took place on the same issue, on the same matter. That's the point that I'm making. So if you bring it down, I would like them to interrogate senior personnel of that organization to dispel the notion of too big to jail. Then, like he said, what about the local government chairman? How about the police commissioner?
All these people must have been aware
how about the governor and all that? And you heard the former president say that he's in touch with the militants and all that, and because there's need for Nigeria to remain one. Those are the kind of things that should happen when you have senior citizens come and answer questions, whether they are from that locality or they are from the place where these things are happening.
I hear you.
Come in and show that you love this country.
Okay, Emmanuel is calling in from Ogijo in Ikorodu, I believe. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ayori.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Thanks for a good job. Yeah, my contribution is that if you look at all what the two gentlemen are saying there, they are all correct. But in my own opinion, if you, let's assume you report such case, maybe into higher authority, or maybe all this committee on this, committee on that, committee on this, it's like you are creating a chance of making money for them. Most of them, when they come for inspection, they will not even ask those, maybe the junior staff or the junior worker. They just go to the management. By the time they give them briefcase, give them money, they will go back. Just say everything is normal, everything is normal. Like petition that company now that this is what is happening, this is what you notice. So maybe an insider give them that information. It's like you create chance for them to make more money. That is where the problem comes from. This kind of missile or this thing we are saying this morning, it has been happening, not today. And I'm sure people are reporting, but upon no, nothing is done. Indeed. That is my contribution. Now we don't look for a way. By the time they report to committee on this, or even the local government chairman, if he's so patriotic, he will not take bribe. But some of them will take bribe and just forget about it. In as much the thing has not happened to one of their
family. It's the money.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling in, Emmanuel. Now that I don't know how this whole thing happened, but the intelligence people haven't given us very much information, but they would have used intelligence at this late hour. I mean, usually intelligence is all about preempting and making sure that this kind of a thing doesn't happen. Even police themselves, I said, they prefer to prevent a crime rather than react to it. So they've now found out, after we have suffered this damage through intelligence, that again is another criticism, that yes, they have it and they used it, and now they're telling us about it, that they've got a storeman and 6 security guys. But there's something, and I know that Jide, you're very passionate about this whole matter about effective and timely deployment of intelligence information. For some reason, it doesn't seem that way. Why is it that after we have suffered that's something that probably all these intelligence people need to look inwards, and maybe if they need retraining, retooling, or whatever the issues are, usually they won't say it out so that we can hear about it. But clearly there's need for some further training or whatever, development, some further development.
It is very, very important. You know, we live in a culture where sharing of information, even in an organization, it's a taboo. I'll say something in my local dialect, and you know, we say this thing, tissue anybody, you know, in your mouth for all budget, that if your yam is big, you use your hand to cover,
so that, you know, to shield it from prying jealous eyes
from others. But we don't need that. When it comes to security, it is how quickly you respond and how quickly you share intelligence among security agencies. It's not about rivalry now.
Okay, one moment, please. Forgive me for interrupting you, but Chooks is on the line from Festac, and I want to make sure I don't lose him. Good morning, Chooks.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
How's everything today? My contribution is that let them bring the senior personnel for interrogation and let us know what is actually happening to the firm. Not when they bring the junior staff or the security men for arrest. So let them see what they can be able to do to the matter and resolve it once and for all. Let us know how this country looks like. Because it's not giving us happiness what is going on in this country.
Indeed.
And if they cannot bring the senior staff into interrogation, how do we know what is happening? Is it the security man that will give us information on what is going to happen? Or the security men? Or the junior staff? Let them bring the superior men in order and interrogate them on what is happening. If there's anything for law to acquit them, let them do that.
Well, thank you, Chooks. Thank you, Chooks, for calling in. But it's uncanny that they've put this out. They don't need to be told what people are saying. They don't need to be told that you want the chairman of the board, you want the managing director, you want the company, you want the real company, not staff. It's a policy issue. Somebody said to the store man, when these people come, you release this to them. I don't know how it was done, but people, what is the storeman inside? So it's like these people.
Maybe they want to start from the top, from the bottom to the top.
Because intelligence won't tell us what they're trying to do.
Absolutely, but it's just to show you.
And it might be that they're shielding certain faces from the public.
Your earlier caller from Ikorodu himself, collaborated what I said. And I said something before. The issue and the attitude we have is the attitude of money.
So the patriotism is lacking.
Yes.
Depending on how you look at it, because I think
it's
you also
lacking,
spoke about...
It's lacking, and that is why we're in the place where we are today. So whether it has to do with the Naira exchanging for $420 or whatever, it is the same problem, because every minute you bring a governor of central bank to Nigeria, he must look for a particular currency, a denomination that he's going to reprint.
Yeah.
So when you come to this issue, there's no way this will happen or would have happened, and there's nobody that is aware that couldn't say this is a dangerous business. Can I report this to the state security? Either the board of directors, one member of the board of directors, or the chairman, or the managing director, or somebody, by text.
I'm sure there must be
That's where patriotism comes in.
Yes, because there must be very, very stringent regulations on ground
Absolutely.
already for this kind of
those
companies.
Businesses are done based on trust.
Kelvin in
integrity
Makurdi,
and
good morning. Kelvin,
Hello?
good morning.
Yeah.
Kelvin.
Hello.
Kelvin, can you hear us, Kelvin?
Yes, I can hear you, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead now.
Okay, Uncle Yori, we have a problem in this country. All criminals are known. They are known to the authorities. Yes, all the police commissioners know the people fomenting problems in this country. All the DSS guys that guide them know who is a criminal in every state, in every local government. And the governors prevent them from arresting these people because they are political cronies. So if before then, you used to have a National Orientation Agency sending security reports direct to the NSA. The National Orientation Agency, right, their reports are very, very accurate. They name names from all the rural areas down to the local government to the state. They write proper reports. Now, when the present dispensation, political dispensation came in, they now altered that. Now they write the report, the state director writes the report, passes it through government house. And the government house now tones the report down. They take out all the names of the criminals. They take out all the names of the people fomenting problems at all the levels.
Kelvin, excuse me, Kelvin. Yes. How would you have access to the information you're sharing with us? Are you a security operative yourself?
I am not, but, sir.
Please go on. Go on, please.
I'm not a security operative, but I am on ground in my state.
Okay.
I am on ground. My younger brother works with National Orientation Agency.
Okay.
I see the reports he writes. I see some of the reports that he brings in from the rural areas. All the boys fomenting problems in my state are known to the authorities.
And you think these reports? You think these reports get watered down along the line?
Yes, they take them to government house, and then the press secretary of the governors now water it down.
No, please continue. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yes, they now water down the report. They take out names of people that are their cronies in those reports.
Okay, because I was going to bring that up, Kelvin, if you don't mind. I was going to say, you said that when this administration came, it changed the status quo. You said that.
Not this administration. I mean the political dispensation.
Oh, the political dispensation.
Yes.
That we're in now.
Yes.
Democracy.
Thank you. You're talking about democracy then.
Yes, when
That
democracy came, they started turning it down.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
yes.
When we were in the military times, military regimes, things were a lot more
Going
straightforward.
direct to the military, and that was why they were stopping these things.
I see what you mean now.
And Uncle Yori, let me tell you, if you remember how Boko Haram started, if you remember how Boko Haram started as ECOMOG. It started as ECOMOG. And all the boys that were in ECOMOG were the ones that were used to rig elections for the then ANP in Borno.
I hear you, Kelvin.
And after the elections, they were not settled. I take a term where the guys used in River State. That was the beginning of this Niger Delta
Militancy.
activities. You know, we have a very short memory. This was how they started. So you see the political guys know who is who.
I see.
The police want to do their job,
Okay.
but they are stopped.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Kelvin. Really appreciate your call. Kelvin throws a number of balls up in the air. He throws a whole number, and you know,
But they're not new.
On another, thank you. On another level, what Kelvin is saying is not entirely new, although we don't know how much to believe of it. That because we hear it said often that, and I don't know how fairly, that the police know all the criminals in the area. If the police really wanted to do what they need to do, they would solve most cases in
But
2 hours flat. But we don't know how true that is.
No, Kevin just nailed it and just displayed nationalism that people who are on ground are supposed to, display. It is up to us to tell ourselves the truth. It looks like he's saying something that is too hard to say. It's
Yes.
really hard for some people to say.
It's really
people
tough.
like me to say on TV. But he just did it for us, all of us. What is the problem? These boys who are buying this and the people who they are known to the how did they conduct the last election in the state? How was that election conducted? By the way, in 2007, I had the opportunity of being in the presence of a governor in Delta State. We're having what they call a stakeholders meeting. And I raised an issue with him that, sir, the problem in the state with our youth and our population is scary. He told the gathering, I was there, that I was the only one who had raised a very pertinent issue in the whole of that meeting, and that he wanted to just say something to me. And he told me a story of what happened between him and former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Obasanjo had gone to that state few months before that time, and they traveled from Asaba to somewhere in Warri. The problem we face is that we don't want to tell ourselves the truth. Because if you go to the different states, if you go to my state, for instance, the governor is there. He has a security advisor. Please go and investigate who he is and where it's coming from. Check how the elections were conducted. Look, Udoya, in his second term, lost an election in Asaba. He was interviewed by your crew. The question they asked him was, sir, how did you lose election amongst the people that you live? He said he doesn't know. So where did you win the election? I can tell you that it's in the hinterland,
Okay.
across the waters.
Mr. Bello, thank you very much for holding on in Agege. Go ahead right now, please. I'm so sorry, Mr. Bello. I think I left that far too late.
Sorry about that.
If you were to get in again, Mr. Bello, I'd connect you even if I was mid-sentence. Sorry about that.
So the issue of the states,
yes.
the issue of the states is what I told you at the beginning. Nationalism, love your country. Because right now the problem in the states is bigger than the people that aspire to be governor. What is the governor of Delta State going to say? To who is he going to be speaking to? The boys that have worked so hard for you. You cannot compensate all of them. And in fact, I remember there was a time I was with a commissioner. We were standing together. A governor sent him a text message that, please, this boy, forwarded his number to him, help me take care of him, that he's troubling my life. We come, maybe you people just stay in Lagos, you don't travel. Go down to, 4 hours to the state. You will see the number of unemployed youths. We have Olympics.
So
in the day Nigeria was Nigeria, it's Delta State indigents that will make up the people that are playing football, doing 100 meters, doing high jump, doing all kinds of things. That's what we were known for. Today, it's about shoes, good clothes, car, no work.
And money. In dollars. I think they're trying to tell me someone else. Okay, Mr. Yakub calling in from Dokwemu. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, no, good morning, sir. Chief Yori.
Thank you for
This
calling.
is Jacob from Dr. once again. And a good one to the two wise men in the studio. Is this security? We have enormous problem in this country, and then we need to tell ourselves the truth. And then there's a point I need to make this morning. You see, before any crime commits, Shibiori, you will include somebody somewhere to make a call to each other, right? And then Shibiori, the question we need to ask ourselves is that the communication of this country, I don't want to mention their name, which all of us know their name. Are they not in possession of all the conversation, even the one I'm making right now, in their possession? The text message of a thing, is it not in their possession, in their system? They know if, again, the SSS, the DSS now went to them to make their investigation. Do you know when they commenced the investigation, they found out that this one is for political jugglers. And then they know that if I should go on with this man, my job is at stake. They will just stop over there. Are you getting it? The problem we have with this country, it is a problem of leadership. Leadership that does not want to jeopardize its political. How is it going to catch the political power when you harm some people? For you to be rigging elections, for you to be in office, you harm them. And how are you going to disarm them after you have been winning election? And then you promise them that you're giving them something. And then after all you win the election, you feel that I'm there already. You fail to pay them. And then they will not carry the same harm. Instead of those people to go after you, they will not go after ordinary citizens of the state and the country in general. Sincerely, we are in big problem. The only thing that we are going to have of this is this. Sincerely, if they find anybody that you are in possession of harm illegally, it may be too harsh. This thing I'm about to say, it may be too harsh. You should go for it. They should be killed. That is it. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Yakub. Oftentimes, Yakub is very angry at unpatriotic elements. But it was Kelvin who, as it were, just opened the lid on all of these things, as he said, saying sort of things that people might be a bit reticent to say. Now, this whole matter about he has knowledge that in different times, when there was a different kind of dispensation, talking about the difference between the military and now nobody wants the military, but at least things were straightforward.
Structural things that are applicable.
Yes,
that
things
time.
were very straightforward. But when we now came along with our political, according to Kelvin, who says he has reason to have a very, very good idea, if not very, very, very good idea, he says they really mess with reports. And so what gets to the end of the line is not very much that is useful in the way of intelligence. Then it means that this is another level of corruption, a totally different, dangerous level of corruption. It's not all that has to do with stealing money.
You know, from my standpoint of view, from the onset, is about regulation and enforcement of regulation. And I still stand by that. And you see, who are those that are responsible for monitoring that company in the last 2 years? In the last 2 years, who were those that went there for the last inspection? All of them should be answering questions by now.
I'm sure they will. I'm
just
just
sure
guessing.
they will.
Because just like when there's a plane accident, these things you said is what people begin to look for. When was this thing last serviced? Where? Who was the engineer? Who? They just
Uncle Yori,
they want to be sure.
a telco was fined 5 billion in Nigeria. Are you with me? And that reined in every other organization to do the right thing and the needful. Someone is calling. You want to pick a call?
Yeah, as a matter of fact. Thank you very, very much.
Don't let us keep
we
it
have on the line now Reverend Dominic from Alimosho.
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, Reverend. Just Yori, please.
It's interesting, the nation we live in. Let me give a short story. We have short memories in our nation. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we have a state in my side, at a state. It was Ochi, one Governor Ochi. But his own godfather has a tyrant on his head. Called a man called Osikanko. It's an open story now. This Osikanko was one kidnapping, was one controlling the government of the state as an armed robber. Until they killed the man, the governor then exposed him and displace him to whole of the state. The day he disclosed that, that's the day he fought his godfather, Oshikaro, and pulled himself out of him and become a man of himself. This is how governance is run in our nation, simply.
Thank you.
Listen to me. I supported this government. For the first time, I voted a president that wins. But I'm disappointed in everything. I thought the narrative will change. Why we reject the former government was impunity. We are fighting corruption today. The impunity is the highest order. The other day in Adamawa, a village was wiped away. The other day in any state, a village was wiped away. And nobody talks about herdsmen. The same thing goes down. What kind of security situation we have in Nigeria? Where somebody can kill somebody and we give it a name. Killing is murder. Whether it is political, whether you are carrying cow, whether you're a driver, when you kill a man, it's a murder case. Why do we give crime here name? Militant. Is it militant or a criminal? A man who focused a pipeline and killed a fellow. Does it supposed to call a criminal or a militant? The problem is leadership. And I pray that this government get it right. Because the reason why we remove PDP, what is impunity? And it's getting to our neck today. Buhari must stand up and fight hate men. Buhari must pilot and fight people in Nigeria. Listen to me. The worst thing that happened to us here is amnesty. In my state, young boys are regrouping now to form a militant group. Do you know the reason? If you don't rise up now and fight, we will get amnesty. We will not write your name on the document. You will not be part of the pay. So for you to be part of pay, pick up your house now, fight everybody. So when amnesty comes, you will relax and become the Kubo. Who has invested in Cotonou? Who has invested could not stop the police fighting for? The Kubo is no more freedom fighter. The Kubo has become a VC or a chancellor. So his fight is over. We have settled him. Now it's Avengers. We don't know the head. People are struggling to speak for them. And the same people say we don't know them. You know, how do I speak for you if I don't know you? The issue is leadership of this nation. And if Buhari don't get it right, I wonder what happened to Nigeria.
All right then. Reverend Dominic, thank you very, very much for calling in. I had interrupted you. It looks like somehow we didn't figure this out. But I imagine that now, in a reactive kind of a manner, all those magazine companies all over the country, there are some, at least I think I know of one in Lagos. I don't know if it is still there. It used to be in Okiafa somewhere. People have reasons to manufacture these things apart, as I said, quarry and all of that. I imagine that now there's going to be extra security in all those places.
Thank you for going to Okiafa. What happened to the commandant of Okiafa, of the cantonment, with that bomb detonation? Until, and it's important, if you check from all the callers, every one of us want the government to succeed. Every Nigerian want to live in peace and unity. Because when there is peace, there is abundance and there's prosperity for everybody. That's the desire of everybody. And until the government, at whatever level, holds its security agencies responsible, we'll still be having this pocket of violence, carnage, terrorism here and there. Because we have only arrested one company. What about other companies?
That is so.
What about other companies?
Now all those ones
what about other companies?
Because there are many others.
What about other companies? You know, the easiest thing even to purchase globally are what? Arms and ammunition. Once you have the resources. And they've said it long time ago that the problem of youth unemployment is a potential keg of gunpowder that if it is not addressed, there's trouble. And in what way are we addressing this? So it's an holistic thing. As you're addressing the economy,
you've got to also be looking.
The economy takes care of the security, because an idle hand is the devil's
workshop. Mrs. Okedo, calling in from K2, good morning. Oh, we lost Mrs. Okedo in there. Well,
Sorry, Mr.
better late than never. Now that they've determined this, most of us wouldn't have had an idea. It's good. It came about when the National Security Advisor was talking to some fertilizer manufacturers, as I said before. I just don't know. It's a shock to a lot of people. But then there are those who are saying that it's not surprising to them. You have said so. Yeah. The gentleman who called in all the way from there.
I think, for me, I don't know, this special advisor, well done. But I think that my issue as a citizen of this country and somebody who is a Nigerian to the core is that those people who come from our area should change their attitude, because if we don't change our attitude towards the nation Nigeria, it's we'll continue to do this talk by God's grace. We'll continue to come here as you invite us, continue to add our voice. But bottom line for me is Buhari is in Abuja. He's 73 going to 74. Is he 74 going to 75? Former President Jonathan was there. It's not easy. The only thing I've always liked.
So all hands have to be on deck because we completely run out of time.
That is how it's supposed to be. You know, yesterday I was listening to the President of the United States, and he was asked a question by a journalist that Donald Trump said that you people are going to rig the election. And he said something that is of great interest to me, and that should be of great interest to me. And he said, look, this thing is done at the municipal level, at the whatever level. Federal government does not whatever. Now, what I take away from that is that everybody have their role to play, and together we build our nation. And that's why when you go out there, you see that map of Nigeria. You have different people from different segments of Maryland carrying it. That is the mentality. Now, if you think you are bombing this because you are upset because Buhari is president, or you're upset because you took money from NDDC or from Ministry of Niger that you don't, because where I come from, they do not want to be held accountable.
Okay,
it's lawlessness.
We completely run out of time now. I wish we could continue with this, but thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Jide Johnson, not just you, as well as Chuks Nwoko. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your perspectives.
Thank you for having me.
Stay with us, please. We'll take a break, and when we come back, I'll explain all of that. Stay with us, please. Okay, welcome back. We have this very short segment just before we go this weekend. Now, you know when I always tell you that, and then you can see it on the concert decoder. So it just occurred to us that, wait a minute, maybe what if you don't have a decoder? Well, there's good news, because I heard that one of the people in charge of concert decoders, we have her with us, Funmi Adewon. Funmi Adewon is concert director, that is concert that you know already, director of IT and operations. Thank you very much for coming on, Funmi.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Now, this whole matter, you're giving away concert decoders to just about anybody who asks for them. Is that right?
We're trying to catch up with the digital that is already on.
Yeah.
So, in lieu of that, nationwide, we're giving out the free decoders. Subscription terms apply.
Yes.
So
okay, so people will pay for the subscriptions, but they'll get the decoder for free. Correct. Now, how does this happen? Do you just ask for it? Say, may I have one, please?
No, we have social media handles, which you can get on Consat, CONSATTV. We have a Facebook, we have a Twitter, and we have an Instagram. And you can also go on the website, www.consat.tv, and you can also call in at 01277-8690, 01277-8690. And we're still giving out the free decoders nationwide via our dealers, via our office. We are located at 1 Continental Way off CMD Road, Ecosi. K2, come to our office and you can get a free concert decoder, and then we can also introduce you to reputable technicians that can do the installation for you.
Anywhere in the country?
Anywhere.
You'll advise them. Wherever the person happens to be, you'll advise them as to the dealers closest to them.
That's correct. That's also on our website. And that's why I gave out the www.concert.tv. You can view that and see which location is near to you. And this morning also, I want to let people know that your program can also be watched on TVC News Nigeria, channel 190, which is a channel on our platform.
That's right. That's the one, the 190. That's the one that they see this program on, the repeat of this program on, among others.
Okay.
In the morning between 6 and 7 a.m.
Okay. So, and also, you can also watch this on TVC Entertainment, which is on channel 801 on the Concert platform.
Okay.
So you have two angles to that.
Indeed. And the one you've just said is also the terrestrial station.
Correct.
So that those that don't have a decoder can still see it. But if you're not in Lagos, where TVC Entertainment is
then
located,
you have to watch it on the decoder box, which is on satellite.
On satellite.
Okay. Now, also want to talk about, we have the Rio Olympics, which has started today. You can watch that on TV5 Mund, on channel 275 on Concert decoder. And you can also watch the highlight on Fox Sports, which is on channel 610 on the Concert decoder platform. Also, the American elections that is going on, because everybody wants to know what's going on globally, that you can watch on MSNBC 132 and Fox News 106. We are also at the Redeem Camp, which is going on. They have their yearly convention going on now. And if you go, we're right located near the EcoBank, you have a concert stand where you can walk up to the concert crew and get your free decoder as we speak.
Okay.
Get your concert decoder as we speak. We're located near the EcoBank by the Redeem Camp, and you can go walk up to the crew and collect your free decoder. Again, subscription applies.
I got a question for you, Fumi.
Yes,
what if
sir.
a person said, okay, thank you very much, it's free, but what if I didn't want it for free? If I wanted to pay, how much would it cost them?
Well, right now, the mandate is to give it out for free.
Okay, so it's not even for sale.
No. But what you can do is, I just told you earlier on that subscription applies.
Of course.
So what you want to do is actually put in your money for future into your subscription. So you can put in as much as you want.
There are a number of different subscriptions.
That's correct. We have mainly we have two types of subscription, and we have also the maintenance. The maintenance, it's just $9.99 per quarter, where, because we understand what is going on in the economy.
Naira, 1 naira less than 1,000 naira per quarter.
That's correct, and that's just the maintenance fee. And if you want to actually subscribe, the subscription is 8,000 naira, which is not even up to 1,000 naira. It's 999 naira per month.
Okay.
And you can pay via Quick Teller. You can actually do Pay Direct via any bank. Almost all the banks are on Pay Direct, so you can do that online.
So that's 1,000 naira for a monthly subscription.
It's not 1,000 naira.
Well, 999.
It's 999 naira. So you still have change left, which you can save.
You still have a bit of change left.
That's
and how many
correct.
channels do you get for that 1,000 naira?
We have about 30 plus channels that you can view for the 999 naira. And then we have the classic. And that, by the way, the 999 payment, it's for the style bouquet.
Style?
Yes, it's called style. And then we have the classic. The classic is the top, which has
How many more stations are on the classic?
Over 60 channels.
Over
60 plus channels on the classic. And that's only 399 naira. It's not up to 4,000 naira. You still have your change. If you keep those changes...
3,999 naira.
That's correct, sir.
Almost 4,000 naira, but not quite.
It's not, sir, but you can round up if you want, but it's only 3,999.
So it's either 999
or 3,999. That's correct, sir.
So it's, if you want, almost 1,000 or almost 4,000. But in both cases, you'll get 1 naira change.
That's correct. No,
well,
it's not in naira. You get you get 1 kobo change. Not cent, 1 kobo change.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, there seems to be so many good reasons to really I was going to say pick up your Comcast decoder. That's the way I should say it, because you can't even buy it for now. With the policy right now is that we're making everybody who wants one get one free.
That's great. That's the mandate, to make sure that everybody is ready and you can view without trying to make the antenna, because that's going away soon. So that's why you need the box. You need the box.
Thank you very, very much for coming on our program to, tell our viewers this. It's like from the horse's mouth. I always say that, and then you can catch us on Concert, but now they've heard from you that you can still catch us on Concert 190.
That's correct.
That is TVC News Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
And,
and also on 801 on Entertainment. And before I leave, you can also reach us on 01-277-8690. I repeat, 01-277-8690, Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday?
Yes, sir.
And of course, the client service guys are up around the clock.
Yes.
People have issues, they can phone in.
Yeah, you can. Monday through Friday, we shut down at 9 p.m. And on Saturday, we're open till 7 p.m. And on Sunday, we're there till 7 p.m. as well.
Oh, thank you.
So, and you can leave a message. There's a tool to actually leave a message or send us via Instagram, WhatsApp.
For me, we've run out of time,
okay,
but I'm so sorry about that. Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome, sir.
Mrs. Fumi Adewon, Concert Director of Information Technology and Operations. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
So do have a great weekend is all that's left for me to say. And God willing, I'll see you on Monday with a fresh edition of the program. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.